Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
A fugitive on the run, exchanging gunfire with police in Floresville. That man shot multiple times by law enforcement. School campuses across the city placed on lockdown. We've got the latest next.
And it's time to make sure that your home's plumbing is winter ready. We're talking to a master plumber about what you need to do now to keep your pipes from bursting when the temperatures dip.
And the sounds of Christmas filling the air in Uvalde tonight. An annual concert featuring the voices of school children, some of them notably missing. Organizers tell us how Robb Elementary was still represented in song. But first tonight, we're learning more about what led up to a shooting in Floresville this afternoon. We first brought you the story as breaking news at 5 o'clock.
So now we know that the suspect in question is in the hospital. And as the night team's John Paul Barajas reports, he was wanted on an active fugitive warrant.
When you see guns drawn right in front of Floresville High School, I thought, oh my God, oh my God.
A shopper caught off guard by what he thought might be a school shooting. Texas DPS has since confirmed it was a wanted fugitive who was spotted on foot. Investigators say the 33-year-old suspect ran near the school and started shooting at officers.
He did fire multiple times at officers. This is a busy area. Fortunately, our officers did some proactive measures, locked that school down immediately. The HEB, we kept that individual away from this area as well.
According to Lieutenant Jason Reyes, there are 4 different scenes where that suspect shot at law enforcement from the Floresville Police Department, Wilson County Sheriffs, and state troopers. It started near the intersection of 181 and 97, coming to an end behind HEB.
About 12 to 18 police officers from various jurisdictions in a line marching all the way down this green space. I hear a tremendous volley of shots, probably 12 to 18 shots, all different caliber of guns, coming to a crescendo.
DPS says the suspect was wanted out of Guadalupe County for violating probation. This time, his name and condition have not been released.
Law enforcement struck that individual multiple times. He was hit. That suspect has been taken to SAMC with critical injuries. At this point, we don't know what his outcome is.
Lieutenant Reyes explained that a tip led them to the suspect here in Floresville, and at this time, he is the only suspect they are looking for. As for the 4 scenes that we told you about, the last one has just cleared. It was where everything ended right here behind the HEB, but there are still plenty signs of crime scene tape in the area. In Floresville, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
And Paul, thank you. Now let's switch gears and talk about tomorrow. You need to get ready for a temperature change. Now today we were in the 80s, of course, nice and comfortable, but thermometers are definitely going to see a drop.
Yeah, a fall cold front moving in, bringing with it those cooler temperatures. Weather Authority Adam Caskey out live in the midst of this drop. He's tracking the cold front's arrival from the City of Lights, Windcrest, and as you can tell from his polo, the cold weather's not here yet.
We're still waiting on the cold front. We've got a few more hours till that cold front arrives, but when it does later tonight, you will definitely feel it. Let's take a look at the temperatures across the state at the moment. And you get all the way up into the Panhandle, we're dipping into the 20s, and that cooler air, or colder air, is plunging southward right now, and it's going to make it here, and by tomorrow morning, you're going to feel it. Right now, my homemade thermometer says 63, and I think officially at the airport it's 62. And tomorrow morning, we're looking at readings down in the 40s. Low to mid 40s for most of us, around San Antonio about 44 degrees. So have the jackets ready to go because the cold front's going to change everything like that overnight. And it's going to last for a few days, and a few more elements to chat about coming up later on in the newscast, along with, of course, these beautiful light displays live from Windcrest. See you in a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Now we're learning more details about the camp counselor accused of abusing a child. He bonded out this morning, and then police arrested him on a second charge. The Kendall County District Attorney says that 74-year-old Michael Spiller was indicted on another charge for indecency with a child involving the same victim. During a press conference, Bernie's police chief said the victim told detectives that Spiller exposed himself on 2 different occasions during a bus ride. She claims that it happened in the early 2000s during summer camp at Bernie Gymnastics. Investigators released a compilation of photos of Spiller from over the decades, and they're hoping that possible victims or witnesses are able to recognize him and come forward with information.
Our investigation shows Spiller has ties to several cities in Texas, including Houston, Giddings, Galveston, and Bernie. Over his decade-long career in gymnastics, Spiller has coached and has ties in New Mexico, California, Hawaii, and Europe.
Now, the Kendall County DA says that specially trained victim advocates are at her office, standing by to help victims.
A Border Patrol agent accused of killing 4 women back in a Bexar County courtroom today. Investigators from Webb County, where Agent Juan David Ortiz is accused of killing 4 women, among those to testify today. The jury was shown crime scene photos, but due to the graphic nature, we are not showing them. Jurors also heard from the DPS troopers who eventually arrested Ortiz. The trial continues tomorrow morning around 8:30. You can read more about today's testimony and stream the trial live tomorrow on KSAT.com. By the way, streaming is also available on our KSAT Plus app and on our YouTube page.
Metro Health is going to benefit from more than $3 billion in federal grants, all aimed at building public health infrastructure. Now, San Antonio's health agency is expected to receive more than $25 billion in grants from the Centers for Disease Control, and then that money is going to be distributed over the next 5 years. Metro Health is among more than 100 state, county, and local health departments on the CDC's funding list. Now, we spoke with San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg this afternoon, and he says that money is going to go toward implementing the SA Forward 5-year plan, which includes initiatives like mental health, healthcare access, and efforts to prevent domestic violence.
And now for a look at some of today's big headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. Tonight, some relief for the family of Vanessa Guillen more than 2 years after her murder. A woman charged in connection with the U.S. Army soldier's death has pleaded guilty. Cecily Aguilar was accused of helping dispose of Guillen's body and falsifying evidence. Aguilar faces up to 30 years in prison, but her court case is far from over. Her plea applies to 4 of the 11 charges filed against her. Aguilar is the only surviving suspect in this case. Aaron Robinson, the man accused of killing Guillen, took his own life the day after her remains were found. Same-sex and interracial marriages would be protected under a new law that could be passed by the House of Representatives. The Respect for Marriage Act actually passed the Senate this afternoon, 61-36. 12 Republicans voted in favor along with Democrats. Both Texas senators voted against it. The legislation would not force any state to allow same-sex or interracial couples to marry, but it would require states to recognize all marriages that were legal where they were performed. It would also protect current same-sex unions if the Supreme Court's 2015 decision were ever to be overturned. 2 top members of the anti-government group, the Oath Keepers, convicted today of seditious conspiracy for their roles in the January 6th insurrection. Stuart Rhodes, the leader of the group, and Kelly Meggs, also a top official, are now facing decades behind bars. Meggs and 3 other defendants were also found guilty of obstructing Congress's certification of Joe Biden as president on January 6th. Some of the critical evidence in that case against them, text messages from Rhodes and other members of the Oath Keepers. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
Every year for the holiday season, volunteers place wreaths on graves at Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery. But the nonprofit in charge of that tradition says it might not happen this year because they just don't have enough wreaths to cover every grave. The CEO of Senior Veterans Incorporated is now asking you, the public, for donations to get as many wreaths as possible. They say that right now, only 80% of the graves are going to be covered. The deadline to donate tomorrow. Wreaths are going to be placed on December 17th. If you want more information on this, you know where to go. Our website, KSAT.com. Now a beloved tradition in Uvalde, which is Christmas at the junior college.
Yeah, that free event features the choirs from local schools. As the night team's Lee Waldman shows us, this year's celebration is filled with joy while still honoring the 21 people lost at Robb Elementary there.
3, everyone, 2, 1.
Thousands of Christmas lights illuminate the Southwest Texas Junior College campus in Uvalde.
Every year, you know, it grows, and it's so rewarding to see the smile on the little ones' faces.
Oh my God, okay. Kids in the community roasting marshmallows, drinking cocoa, and of course, Santa riding in on a fire truck. But the most heartwarming tradition the children performing in their choirs.
I think it's the choirs mainly, though. I really have to say that, just because all the families come out and they're so excited to see them sing.
Robb Elementary is missing from this year's lineup, but another school stepped in, Uvalde Elementary, which is now home to several former Robb students.
Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Lane Valenzuela and Uvalde Elementary.
It made me sad, honestly, to do this, but then I think about the other kids, and it's important for us to keep celebrating. It adds faith and hope and lets them know that we are a community still.
We continue to pray for your mercy and grace involving the Robb incident and all that still remains.
The 21 honored tonight in prayer and in this handmade ornament by the college's welding instructor, Albert Ibarra.
It's in our minds every day, could have been our kids. Grateful it's not, but, it very simply could have.
You're never over it. You just keep moving forward, little step at a time. But those lives will never be forgotten.
I think the 21 will be here in spirit.
The Gonzalezes say they contemplated not putting on this event this year, given what happened at Robb Elementary just 6 months ago. But they said they wanted tonight to be focused on joy and moving forward as one community. In Uvalde, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Wow.
Good to see the smiles there.
Yes, definitely. And the kids all happy. Well, straight ahead on the night beat, the Texas Reliability Council, or ERCOT, is trying to put Texans at ease about being able to stay warm this winter. The agency releasing a report today, what it says about the power grid's ability to meet demand when Texans are going to need it most.
And speaking of cold temperatures, no time like the present to check your home's plumbing to see if it can withstand old man winter. The checklist you probably should be going over to avoid costly repairs.
As we approach the winter season, the question that many of us want to know is whether the Texas power grid is ready. Well, ERCOT and the Public Utility Commission of Texas say, Both agencies released readiness reports today and stated the grid is, quote, stable enough to handle the state's demand for the winter season, unquote. But there is a caveat. Customers should expect to be called upon to lower their electrical use this winter, and that's because a high demand for electricity is expected.
Warm days like today make it difficult to think about freezing temperatures, but a local plumber warning homeowners to act now to prevent freezing pipe problems in the months ahead.
Something to be aware of. The Night Team's Patty Santos explains the common mistakes that some homeowners are making.
I would say the vast majority of people don't know how to shut water meters off.
Master plumber Brad Harrell says that's something every business and homeowner should know how to do.
This is the most typical area for a water meter to be between the curb and the sidewalk.
Using a crescent and channel locks, he's able to cut off water to the house to stop a potential emergency water leak.
2 poles lining up, and that is an indication that the meter is now off.
Each winter, he goes to the rescue of homeowners who fail to winterize their outdoor pipes.
Busted hose bibs is probably the #1 item that we get called for because people either don't protect them with insulation, the little styrofoam covers, or they don't drip them.
Calling a plumber to fix your frozen spigot is going to cost you a few $100, but buying the materials to prevent that from happening is a lot cheaper.
Pipe insulation and hose bib cover is all you need.
We're going to go ahead and cut a piece of this insulation just to show y'all how easy it is to put it on.
That insulation can also protect outdoor water heater pipes. If and when temperatures drop below 32 degrees, he says, open sink and faucet cabinets, let warm air circulate, and allow a slow drip. This is especially important for those with elevated homes. Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
All right, good advice. Now we're going to go outside right now. Here's a live look over 410. I see some lights, but nothing Nothing compared to the beautiful lights over in Windcrest, where our dear friend Adam Caskey is now joining us live from.
Yeah, and Adam, I've got to tell you, I think Windcrest outdid themselves this year. I know I say that every year, but it looks especially beautiful this year.
Well, it is, and different neighborhoods or parts of Windcrest have stepped up and gone all out. And we're on Candle Glow right now. Tonight was the annual kickoff, and I love Candle Glow. It's just such a good view all the way down the street. But you got your self-proclaimed largest handmade nutcrackers in Texas. I mean, I don't see any reason to argue that, but it's a very different feel right now than what it's going to be out here tomorrow at this time. Quick look at our weather headlines, then we'll get to the graphics. Overnight, cold front hits. It's going to hit while we're sleeping. It's going to hit pretty hard. It's one of those cold fronts that you'll notice right away. I mean, we are not talking freezing temperatures, but I won't be in short sleeves tomorrow evening. And tomorrow it's going to be cooler, windy, but we'll have some sunshine. And then Thursday, temperatures will drop off a little bit more as the clouds move back in. All right, let's get to our main weather setup right now. What's happening out there? Big storm system that's spreading all across the country, north to south right now. Severe weather in parts of the deep south and southeast. We're talking Louisiana and Mississippi, Alabama. The main moisture is now east of the Mississippi. Unfortunately, we couldn't tap into any of that. Look at this temperature change along the front. I mean, behind it, in the core of the cold air, single digits. North Platte, for example, at 7. I mean, you even get to Lubbock and it's 31. Meanwhile, here in San Antonio, we're sitting at 62. We'll be near 60 degrees for the next few hours, but then once the cold front hits, temperatures drop. You wake up tomorrow morning and 7 a.m., we're talking 45 degrees around San Antonio. That's about downtown, a little bit cooler as you get out to 410 and 1604. Also, wind picking up, so colder and windy tomorrow. We're talking gusts about 30 to 35 miles per hour, and that's first thing in the morning, and it's going to last most of the day. So colder and windy, so you will feel a little extra chill in the air because of that wind. 7 a.m. tomorrow, 44. By noon, we're at 56. 4 o'clock, we're at 60 degrees. That's our high temperature. Keep in mind, today, we were 81. So we're looking at a good 20-degree temperature drop compared to what we had this afternoon. Thursday morning, back in the 40s. By the afternoon, only 52 with the low gray clouds in place. And it's going to be gray Thursday all the way through Friday with another round of fog and drizzle on Friday morning because the moisture returns, the humidity's back. And then this weekend, at that point, we're looking at highs right near 70 degrees and just the off chance of a stray shower or two, but really no good appreciable rain on the way. So back here live at Windcrest, they have a theme every year, and you have your typical traditional elements that are largely homemade, which is what I love about Windcrest, such as this wonderful gingerbread house here, the legend of the Christmas heart candle behind me. But the theme was Fiesta de Navidad. So there's many different fiesta themes sprinkled about that you'll see, such as the peppers off on the wreaths over there. They've got wreath peppers, and even other homes and homeowners have gotten more into the theme, which is great. I mean, two of the best things, Fiesta and Christmas mashed together. Also today, or I should say tomorrow, starts my homemade thermometer ornament giveaway. KSAT.com/thermometer. I'll be giving away 2 a day. 62 degrees out here. Not bad. Back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam.
He just lights up that environment. All right. So the transfer portal is opening. I think it's next week, right?
And it looks like Texas is going to lose a quarterback. No big surprise here because with Quinn Ewers involved and now Arch Manning coming on board the Longhorns, Hudson Card has decided to enter that portal. When we come back, more details about that and celebrating USA's big win of the World Cup coming up. Texas Longhorns have lost one of their quarterbacks after reports surfaced that Hudson Card is entering the transfer portal following the 2022 season. Card was essential to the Longhorns this past season, even though he was beaten out for the starting job by Quinn Ewers, only to see Ewers go down in their game against Alabama, with Card stepping in to close the throwing, keep it close, throwing for 158 yards and picking up extra yards on the ground, even though he was slowed by a foot injury. That was just part of the year he had in which he completed almost 70% of his passes for 6 touchdowns. Now, as many as 6 teams have shown interest. The UTSA Roadrunners have been making having to make adjustments all season long due to injuries. As head coach Jeff Traylor told us, this season has been both rewarding and frustrating at the same time. Among the injuries, Brendan Brady, the starting running back for the Roadrunners, who went down in the 34-31 comeback victory over UTEP this past weekend. As a result, Traylor's named Kavorian Barnes as his starting running back in this Friday's Conference USA Championship game against North Texas. Brady has played in all 12 games this season with almost 700 yards rushing, 9 touchdowns. Now the redshirt freshman, who has 538 yards and 5 TDs, will be the number 1 back against the Mean Green.
Do what I can do, you know. Brendan Brady, he really put it on the platter for me, you know. I'm going to miss him, you know. I really hate he's not going to be able to play, but it's time for the next man to step up, and so I feel like I'm the next man, and then we got other running backs in the room that's going to be ready to step up as well. So I feel like us in the running back room will be perfectly fine. It's just the standard is the standard, and there's no gray area in that.
All right, following practice today, head coach Jeff Traylor continued his appeal to the city to have 50,000 or more fans in the stands for Friday night's game.
Morale of the troops right now are huge. It's been a long year. It's been a tough year. And all that stuff really matters. Or I wouldn't be basically begging our crowd to try to hit 50. I really think we could hit 50.
All right, the UTSA attendance record in the Alamodome is 56,743 in the Roadrunners' first ever game, September 2011. While the UTSA Roadrunners are playing for the Conference USA Championship this Friday, the University of the Incarnate Word Cardinals kick off the SCF playoffs as a 7-seeded team when they host 10-2 Furman after the Paladins defeated Elon 31-6, while the back-to-back Southland Conference champs enjoyed a bye week. Quarterback Lindsey Scott Jr. will lead one of the highest scoring offenses in the nation after throwing 50 touchdown passes in the regular season. How does he maintain his focus knowing he's getting national attention?
Being an older guy, I've seen a lot of football. I've seen a lot of other guys, when I was young, handle success and handle it the right way. I've learned from those guys. I go through every week. My motto is that every week's the same. No matter if you're playing great or playing terribly, you're blessed with another opportunity to play football.
Our guys are going to be fired up. That's what I told them. Our guys are going to be fired up. We know that. It's going to come down to the little details, right? The discipline aspect, who can control their emotions better.
All right, kickoff at Galen Tom Benson Stadium on Saturday set for 1 p.m. USA survives against Iran next. The big game playoff coverage this Friday night will feature a battle of the unbeaten between two 13-0 teams in the Class 4A Division I state quarterfinals. For the first time in school history, the Bernie Greyhounds are 13-0 following their 51-0 victory over Port Lavaca Calhoun last week. That's after Cal Allen eliminated Somerset 31-17, but the Greyhounds behind quarterback Jackson Bays are averaging over 46.5 points a game in the postseason while giving up only just over 11. And get this, Bays has 42 touchdowns to his credit with over 2,760 yards in the air and just 4 interceptions.
There's a lot of momentum coming off of that. That was a great win, 51-0. I feel really confident going into this week, and we know we can beat them, and we're just trying to be 1-0.
It's awesome seeing everybody do their job and being bought into the team, and we just want to keep advancing and take it week by week, no matter who the opponent is. They're a good team. They're undefeated as well, and we've been looking forward to this matchup all season. I just can't wait to play them.
All right, kickoff Friday night, 7:30 p.m. in the Alamo Stadium, and you can catch that game live on KSAT 12.2 MeTV and the BGC app.
Man, it's exciting, after missing out on the last World Cup and, watching in 2014, we really miss this.
We weren't even sure if we'd have a big crowd today because, people have to work, they have obligations, but people are excited about us being in the World Cup for the first time in 8 years, and we have a chance today to advance.
Check out the fans, including the Crocketeers, a smoked barbecue this afternoon to cheer on USA against Iran in today's World Cup competition. So we go to the action on the pitch. USA needing to win to move on to the knockout round, 37th minute. USA on the fast break. Sergino Dest headers the ball close to the net, setting up Christian Pulisic for the goal. Pulisic takes a big hit by colliding into Iran's goalie, but he puts USA on the board 1-0 in stoppage time, 98th minute. Same score, Iran's last chance as they push the pace. The kick goes into the box. The header towards the goal. Mehdi Taremi slides, pushes the ball past the goalkeeper, but Matt Turner is there to make the save. USA advances 1-0. That was a shaky stoppage time for everybody's heart there. So next up, it's be the Netherlands on Saturday at 9 a.m.
I don't want to out anybody in the newsroom, but not a lot of work got done between 1 o'clock and about 3 o'clock today. Yeah. Thanks.
Got it.
We'll be right back after this.
Cold front arrives tomorrow morning, dropping temperatures some 20 degrees. It's going to be windy but sunny tomorrow and chilly on Thursday, high in the low 50s. We'll slowly see temperatures rebound back into the weekend.
It's the wind. We got to watch out for.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Have a great night. GMSA at 4:30.